A webinar participant asks, if your outcome is to reduce churn for an e-commerce subscription product, how would you get started? How would you map the opportunity space? And the participant asked, when you're interviewing, do you just ask about their experience over the past year? Let's treat this like a little mini case study. So the first thing to consider is you are being tasked to reduce churn on a subscription product. Reducing churn is a business outcome. It's an outcome that's directly tied to the health of our business. It doesn't really represent customer value. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to translate this business outcome into a product outcome. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to look at what are behaviors in the product that are leading indicators that that somebody's getting value from the product. So this assumes that we have a theory of how our product creates value. So in an e-commerce subscription, our theory might be something like our customers get value from our products because, right? So let's get even more specific. I'm gonna use like a dog toy monthly subscription where every month you get a new dog toy. Okay, so we have to have a theory of the value for the customer. Okay, I know my dog gets tired of the same toys, so maybe the value to the customer is that it's novelty for your dog. There's always a new toy for your dog to play with. Okay, so now when we're looking at churn, what are the leading indicators of that? Churn is the opposite of sort of satisfaction or engagement with the subscription. So what do we think are the indicators that a customer is happy with the box? So we might be looking for behaviors like the dog likes the toy. The dog plays with the toy all month and doesn't get sick of it before the next toy comes, right? And so now I want to look at how might I measure things. Are we doing surveys where we ask the owner, did the dog like the toy? Are we doing that just on day one? Are we looking at it later in the month? So this is where we might start to look at product outcomes. And now when we look at how do we map the opportunity space, our outcome might be something like, let's increase the percentage of dog owners who say their dog still likes the toy on day 20 of the month. Okay, so now when I interview my dog owners, I'm going to ask them something like, tell me about the last toy you got. Did your dog like it? When did it play with it? Tell me about the course of the month with the toy. Now, it might be hard. So in the original participant asked to ask about their past year. It's really hard to ask someone about a whole year. It's also really hard to ask someone about a whole month. So even better, I might pop in and interview the same participant over the course of the month. Maybe I'll talk to someone the day after they got the toy. Did their dog like it? Maybe I'll interview them a week later. Does their dog still like it? Again, this is going to depend on how easy it is for me to recruit, how often I can check in with the same customer, how much time they're willing to give me. If I can only check in once, maybe I only do the interview with people 20 days after they get the toy. And I'm having them look back. Over the last 20 days, did your dog play with the toy at all? Right? So there's lots of ways that we can do this. When we're starting with a business outcome, the key thing we want to remember is we have to translate it to a product outcome. We're looking for what are the behaviors in the product or with the product that are leading indicators of that business outcome. So to reduce churn, we're going to increase the number of people that are happy with the dog toy. Now you might be thinking as a product team, how do I increase the percentage of owners that are happy with the dog toy? We actually did a case study with Tails.com about their outcome around retention with dog food. And the product team had no impact on the quality of the food, the taste of the food. They were just building the subscription service and all the website around that. But what they learned was the reason why dogs didn't like the dog food was because dog owners didn't always know how to transition dogs to dog food. And so they were able to influence that outcome, even though they don't influence the quality of the product. I'll put a link to that case study below as well, so you can explore that a little bit further. So in this sort of made up case study about dog toys, the product team may have no influence over what dog toys are being offered, but they might be able to run programs like helping the owner introduce the toy in a way that increases the likelihood that the dog likes the toy. Right? So there's a lot that we can play with here. But again, to zoom out and just do a quick recap, When we're starting with a business outcome, we're going to translate it to a product outcome. What are the behaviors in the product, with the product, the sentiment about the product that are leading indicators of that business outcome? And then how do we interview our customers about that particular experience? Okay, I hope this was helpful. If you have experience translating business outcomes to product outcomes and you want to share an example in the chat, that would make me very happy. And I will add a link to that tails.com case study.